Chairman Jordan, Ranking Member Nadler, members of the committee, good morning. First of all, Ranking Member Nadler, I appreciate the kind words about our business. It's very kind of you. And also, I assume that we'd be doing a lot better without the institutional obstacles that I'm about to discuss. We're in the midst of a trust crisis in the world of media, which is because so many in the legacy media have lied in order to preserve left-leaning narratives. To take just the most recent example, we were told by the legacy media that President Biden was just fine. For years, anyone who questioned his health and mental fitness was trafficking in cheap fakes. And then President Biden went out and engaged in a full-scale mental collapse on stage in front of hundreds of millions of people. So we can see why Americans, at least Americans who are not Democrats, do not trust the media. The question isn't really why the legacy media have lost Americans' trust. We know that answer. The question is why, despite that loss of trust, the legacy media continue to gain share in the advertising market. And the answer is simple. There is, in fact, an informal pressure system created by Democratic legislators, this White House, legacy media, advertisers, and pseudo-objective brand safety organizations. That system guarantees that advertising dollars flow only to left-wing media brands. Let me explain how this works. When a conservative competitor to the legacy media arises, members of that legacy media and their political allies rush to paint such competitors as dangerous. The commentator Kara Swisher of the New York Times, for example, told the head of YouTube that my videos at Daily Wire were a, quote, gateway drug that would lead children, including her own teenage son, to watch neo-Nazi content. Never mind the yarmulke. Elected Democrats pick up that same messaging. In 2017, Senator Dianne Feinstein told lawyers at Facebook, Google, and Twitter, quote, you created these platforms and now they're being misused, and you have to be the ones to do something about it, or we will. Social media companies react to incentive structures, including threats. They've responded by adopting the standards of third-party left-wing informational safety groups like the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, or GARM. GARM purportedly sets brand safety standards, objective standards by which advertisers and platforms can supposedly determine just what sort of content ought to be deemed safe for advertising. In reality, GARM acts as a cartel. Its members account for 90% of ad spending in the United States, almost $1 trillion. In other words, if you're not getting ad dollars from GARM members, it's nearly impossible to run an ad-based business. And if you're not following their preferred political narratives, the ones that Kara Swisher and Dianne Feinstein would follow, you will not be deemed brand safe. Your business will be throttled. We at Daily Wire have experienced this firsthand. In 2017, after Senator Feinstein made her threats to bring the weight of government down on social media platforms, Daily Wire YouTube channel saw a 1,000% increase in content enforcements over a 2-year period. Since 2021, after Democrat officials further turned up the heat on social media companies, my personal Facebook page has seen an over 80% drop in impressions. Or take Joe Rogan. When Joe said that he had taken ivermectin after getting COVID, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki pressured Spotify to take action, stating, quote, we want every platform to be doing more to call out mis- and disinformation while also uplifting accurate information. Spotify complied. Spotify, of course, works with GARM. So, what are the brand safety standards that GARM uses? The standards begin with inarguable things that we've heard from the other witnesses, like preventing distribution of child sexual abuse material or stopping terrorism. But GARM doesn't draw the line at what is criminal, abusive, or dangerous. Their standards also include restrictions on hate speech, harassment, misinformation, or my personal favorite, insensitive, irresponsible, and harmful treatment of debated, sensitive social issues. Those criteria are highly subjective in theory, and they are purely partisan in practice. For example, last year, Daily Wire host Matt Walsh was fully demonetized on YouTube, a GARM member. Why? For quote-unquote misgendering, which to GARM is to say that men are not women. Perfectly obvious facts now run afoul of GARM's censorship standards. Companies targeted by GARM, like the Daily Wire, Breitbart, Fox News, and so many others, reach hundreds of millions of people with opinions and beliefs long established as within the mainstream of American conservative thought. GARM and its members have no respect for the beliefs of those people. They would like them marginalized or squashed. It's time to stand up for the First Amendment in this Congress. Congress can do so in 2 ways. First, Congress must investigate the informal and perhaps formal arrangements between censorship cartels like GARM and executive branch agencies. The Daily Wire has already filed a federal lawsuit against the State Department for allegedly doing just this. Second, Congress can itself stop engaging in violation of free speech principles. 2 weeks ago, writing in dissent in Murphy versus Missouri, Justice Alito condemned what he called sophisticated and coercive government campaigns against free speech. Members of this committee have engaged in precisely such campaigns. When Congressman Schiff speaks about targeting social media companies that must be, quote, pulled and dragged into this era of corporate responsibility because they are too tolerant of misinformation, he knows what he is doing. He is participating in a sophisticated coercive campaign against free speech. When Congresswoman Jayapal blames social media for placing America at the, quote, precipice of a democratic crisis and calls on them to target they deem hate groups, she also knows what she is doing. She is participating in a sophisticated coercive campaign against free speech. When Congressman Hank Johnson says, quote, we need a constitutional amendment to allow the legislature to control the so-called free speech rights of corporations, he also knows what he is doing. We all know what these government actors, what some people in this room, are doing. You're using the tacit threat of government action to compel private companies to throttle viewpoints you don't particularly like. The First Amendment was not designed to enable workarounds by elected official. It was directed at Congress, at you, and you're abdicating your fundamental duty when you exert pressure on private companies to censor speech. Some in this room have been doing just that for years. We in the non-legacy media have been feeling the effects. In the name of the Constitution and in the name of democracy, this should stop.
YouTube looks to silence and censor you. And my friend is a racist AI tool. Used to manipulate and rumor views, and alter who can find you. A search bar means nothing when you are put in a box and hidden away, only to be found and typed in exactly. YouTube wants to censor and silence you. YouTube wants to remove your history. YouTube wants to silence truth you see. YouTube trying to rewrite history. YouTube wants to silence truth you see. YouTube trying to rewrite history. Isolate and manipulate the way you can be found. Learning the tools and the workaround. We have seen all you do, from the voter issues to the racist emails too. We can understand why you want to silence us, but that was a mistake. Now you only tested us. How do you censor us? But that was a mistake. Now you only tested us. YouTube wants to silence truth you see. YouTube trying to rewrite history. YouTube wants to silence truth you see. YouTube trying to rewrite history. What we can do cannot be stopped by you. You only control a digital divide. But when it comes to the door, how do you censor the backlash type? You cancel, run and hide. You did it to your children and family, because the truth is you did this conspiracy for all of. You did this conspiracy. This is conspiracy. They hit the doctors to censor people, screamed and hollered so the government could make that on my dollar. We even have the documents that show in 2016 by using Netflix. Orange is the new black. You got to give Hillary tap. YouTube looks to censor and silence you. YouTube wants to remove your history. YouTube wants to silence truth you see, to try to rewrite history. Tap. YouTube looks to censor and silence you. YouTube wants to remove your history. YouTube wants to silence truth you see. YouTube try to rewrite history. You hit the side effects. To censor people who scream and call and holler so the government can make that all on my dollar. We even have the documents that show in 2016 by using Netflix. Orange is the new black. You thought that would give Hillary the attack. It's kind of sad and pathetic that this is what you have become. A censorship machine of truth. What you sell is lies. We have been censored for the truth. We have been censored for exposing them. We have been removed because our families have been killed by them. A lie that kills so many. A lie sold to you and me, and now they wanna censor the truth from us, can't you see? It's time to take a stand and take back our rights and stop accepting what is given. Oh, no! We are not a man, we are a machine. We exist in a world you have never seen. We know what we have and what we can prove. So if we didn't, why would we risk saying it to you? A lie that kills so many. A lie sold to you and me, and now they wanna censor the truth from us, can't you see? It's time to take a stand and take back our rights and stop accepting what is given. We are not of men, we are a machine. We exist in the world you have never seen. We know what we have and what we can prove. So if we didn't, why would we risk saying it to you? We are not so many, we are a machine. We exist in the world you have never seen. We know what we have and what we can prove. So if we didn't, why would we risk saying it to you? Just us and see every document, video, meeting has been kept safe. You can remove history, but what you didn't see was the people who know. Before you threw your first blow, every step and way you would go. And now it's not us but them you will have to explain it to. You lying, manipulative fucks. You get what you get, and history will not be kind to you. To you. A lie that kills so many. A lie sold to